Thank you, Xavier. Let's go for it. I
Nice.
can't wait to see all the new features.
All right. So 3 building blocks: whiteboard, co-browser, and playground. And we're going to cover all 3. So you're in whiteboard by default when you enter Koala Go. And I'm going to ask you to guess what button can I press here on my screen to invite a student to my classroom. I'll give you a few seconds. And yes, you guessed it right. I click on the invite student button in the top left. And then you have this important window that pops up, which says share this link with your students. That is going to be the student invite link that you can share with your students. It's pretty important. Just you can save it somewhere or just find it here every time. This link never changes and it's unique to you. If your student is in China, click here and it will give you a slightly different link that starts with CN instead of starting with classroom. That's the only difference. If your student is outside of China, you can use this one.
Yeah.
You can click here to copy it, send it to your student, and then your student can just click on this link on their iPad or Android tablet or PC, Chromebook, Mac. We support pretty much every device. And here you are. And then, so your video is going to show up here, and then your student's video is going to show up here, right underneath. Okay? All right. So let's cover Whiteboard real quick. It's very similar to other whiteboard solutions that you've used. It's an interactive whiteboard where you and your students can draw, or you can you have a pencil tool, you have a sticky note tool.
You get the vanisher.
You
as
have
well,
a text box tool. Yes, you have a vanishing pen. That's right. So the vanishing pen, it allows you to draw, and then the line goes away after a few seconds. So you can say, "Hey, look at this word," and then after a few seconds, it disappears. That's the vanishing pen.
That's really awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So teachers like it a lot, indeed.
Yeah.
And so you have we've tried to build a lot of kid-friendly tools. So you can go to reward in the top left. You have confettis. You can give stars to your students.
The dice.
You have a dice. That's right. And you
One of
can
my
give
favorite.
gems.
I
don't
love
have
the
students
sound
in my classroom right now. Yep. And you know what? I'm going to invite myself to the classroom to show you what it looks like when you have a student coming in.
Great.
So right now I'm just opening the tab. A different tab, and I'm joining as a student to my own classroom. So let's say we have Dylan that's joining my classroom right now. You'll see that at the bottom right, I'm getting this notification, and I can accept, or I can cancel the request, or even just hide the notification for later. And then once I accept, I match Dylan with his profile, and here it is. So I'm going to mute myself to avoid horrible echo. There we go. So at the top, you have a teacher, Xavier. At the bottom, you have a student, Dylan. Sorry, it's a little bit confusing because the teacher and the student look very similar in this example, but imagine that those are 2 different people. So I have my students here. What I wanted to show you is that you have the ability to have more camera or less camera as the teacher. You can go full screen as well if you want. And let's say the student is drawing all over the whiteboard. You also have the ability to disable student interaction, or mute them, or disable or turn off their camera. And you have all the basic features that you expect in an interactive whiteboard. Maybe one thing that I'll mention here is that you have a chat in the bottom left. So that allows you to chat with the students. And we've recently added a translation mode. So you can, if you check this, the messages that you send will be automatically translated for your students. And the way this works is that we just look, in order to know what is the student's preferred language, we look at what language their browser settings is. So if they're right now, my student Dylan is myself, so it's set to English. So if I type a word, I don't know, if I speak French, bonjour, comment vas-tu? And I send, automatically it will be translated to English because my student's browser is set to English. So this can be quite useful if your students, I don't know, they're on a weekend, they're spending the weekend with their grandparents and they're Koreans and the grandparents don't speak a word of English. You can use, the chat in the bottom left and with the translation feature to interact with the grandparents. Cool. So that's it. You have a recording feature. You have a screen share feature. So it works like other screen sharing that as you know. But you probably end up not using the screen share feature that much because we'll be mostly once you discover what the co-browser.
That's awesome.
Yep. Exactly. Cool. So that's pretty much it for the whiteboard. So you are now experts of the whiteboard, and I'm going to add a little green check mark next to the whiteboard. And we're going to move to the co-browser. So the co-browser is something you can open by clicking here on this icon right here. That looks like, I don't know, the NASA logo, I guess, right here. So let's click and see what happens. Cool. So what is a co-browser? A co-browser is a browser that you and your students can interact with at the same time. So right now, for instance, so you can go to anywhere in the web and play like educational games online, for instance, and interact at the same time as your students. So right now, for this example, I'm using a website called WordWall, but you can go anywhere. And then maybe let's take a more visual website. So I'll go WordWall, but I could go on any website, and then we'll do matchup. Very good. And let's do the Merry Christmas exercise. Okay, so here you see the job. I mean, the goal of the game is to just drag and drop those things. Now, what's really cool in the co-browser is that now your students can also drag and drop on their device.
Some features.
If they're on a touchscreen, for instance, they can even use their finger to drag and drop. So it makes the experience much more kinesthetic, much more sensory. So here right now I'm on my student screen, and you can see that I can drag and drop as a student. And the teacher and the students have their own independent cursors. You're not fighting over the same cursor as in Zoom. So this is actually, it makes the experience on the web much more interactive. And this works for WordWall, but it works for, I know that a lot of you ESL instructors use Genially slides. So here I have a great lesson from Easy Peasy Learning, which is an ESL curriculum. And you can see that this will be, I don't know if there's a slide where I can drag and drop. Let me try to remember. You see, you can interact with the Genially slides in the co-browser. So the bottom line here is, if the content that you use to teach your ESL class is in the web, the co-browser is really the best tool for that. We've actually also added an annotation at the bottom, and you have access to the same annotation tool as you have in the whiteboard. So you can say, you can use this vanishing pen that we talked about and say, ask your student, hey, what is this? Have you seen those ants? Do they bite? So you can have a conversation like this. Do you have a cat at home? Do you have an axe at home? Hopefully not. And so this is the annotation. And then just once you're done with annotating, just click on this little arrow, and then you'll be able to interact with the slide again. One last thing that I'll mention about the co-browser is in the bottom right, you have 3 clusters of server: North America, Europe, and Asia. So just choose wherever your student is. If your student is in North America, choose North America. He will reboot. He will connect to the correct server and then come back. That will optimize the latency. And you also have access to the reward tools, etc. I'm going to check real quick if there's any question in the chat. I don't think so. But feel free to ask your question in the chat.
It's awesome.
Thank you. So yeah, and then once you're done with the co-browser, just click on the X in the top right, and you will go back to the whiteboard. Congrats if you made it that far. You now know 2/3 of Koala because you know whiteboard and co-browser. I forgot to mention one very important feature here, which is accessible in a whiteboard and in a co-browser. And I think only Koala offers this feature. We're very proud of it. We offer 24/7 live support from our team. So if you have any question at any time, if you're confused, if you have a tech issue, if you want to ask for some training, just go ahead and click in the bottom right, and then click here and say, hi, please, I need help. And we will help you. Okay? We're a small team. Koala is 8 people, but we're 8 people all over the world, so on every time zone, and that allows us to always be on the other end of this chat all year long, 24/7. With a few exceptions, we take 11 days of holiday per year. So there's 11 days where you won't find us on the other end, such as this coming Monday, which is Memorial Day. But outside of those 11 days, we're always there for you, and we're really happy to help if you have any questions. Cool. And then I'll move on to the last piece of this training, which is Playground. So Playground is very different from what you may find in other online teaching tools. We've built Playground, as I was saying at the beginning, for kids that have difficulty getting motivated by their online classes. It's really your choice if you want to use Whiteboard or co-browser or Playground or all of them. I'm just showing you those 3 tools today, and you, teacher, you're the boss. You know your student better. You know what academic style you want to play by. So it's really up to you whether you want to use it or not. To open Playground, I'm going to click on this little squirrel icon right here. And here we go. So I don't know if you guys play video games, if you play Minecraft, Roblox, your students probably do. When you open Playground, your avatar falls from the sky under a little parachute. And then here I am.
Awesome.
So you'll see that your student will also and your student will also arrive on the little parachute. So let's see. There he is. It's slowly falling from the sky. There we go.
Yeah.
So you see, I have my avatar, and Dylan, my fake student, also has his own avatar. And you can customize your avatar if you click here on Customize Avatar. You can change skin tone, cheeks, lips, eyes, hairstyle, t-shirt, pants, and shoes. So go crazy, have fun, and the system will remember your avatar. So you can, your students can build their avatar today, and next week for their next class with you, they will find their avatar and they'll be very happy. So Playground can be used for fun as a reward, for 5-minute reward at the end of the class, or it can be actually used for full instructions. I'm not going to cover everything in Playground today, but you'll see that at the bottom, you have a lot of tools. There's something called Focus Tool, which allows you to click on something and then highlight an area you want to focus on and click again. And now you're focused, your eyes are focused on the Focus Tool. Same thing for your students. Dylan only sees this blackboard. So now you can also click, sorry, I'm going too fast. Click here on Add Blocks, Objects, Images, or Stickies here. And then you'll see a teaching section. And you can, actually, you could, in theory, teach a full class in Playground only. And we have a few teachers who do that. It's a minority, I'm not going to lie. But there's a lot of things that you can do in Playground. You can also add images on the blackboard and anywhere in Playground. So anything is customizable. So I'm going to exit the focus mode right now and show you that you can actually go in first-person view here if you click on the eye, which means that you can move around just like in a video game using the up, left, right, and down key on your keyboard. And you can run around like this. And everything is customizable, as I was saying. So you can click on here again, this icon, and you can build blocks. If you hold Shift, you can build many blocks at a time. And you may remember that I showed you earlier that if you go to Reward, you can actually give gems to your students. Gems is something that we created to give you more power to reward your students. So you'll get 300 gems per month if you're on the Koala Pro plan. And if you click here, you'll see that you can give gems. So maybe I'm going to give 100 gems to Dylan. And these 100 gems will be added to Dylan's gem balance. And what can you do with gems, you ask me? Well, you can go again to this main icon here, and then click on Home and Decor. And then you'll see that using gems, your student can buy a lot of items for the playground. So, this pink soccer ball, for instance, 1 for 15 gems or 5 for 75 gems. Let's go here, and then we're going to place them here. So we have soccer balls now, and you can click on the ball and then click and then throw it. So this can be really fun. We've also recently added a basketball hoop. So you can actually do a full basketball competition with your students. Oops. Yes, so as you can tell, I am not very good at it, but it's actually quite hard. But I'll let you train a little bit. So, I'm trying to cover in 5-minute Playground, and it would take maybe 2 hours to cover every feature. But this is a completely customizable environment. We also have a few different default environments that you can choose from. You just click on the 3 lines here, click on Reset Playground, and you'll see you have the plain grass field or the summer classroom, the winter classroom, which is where we are right now, the farm, ski resort, spacewalk, desert fortress. All those are free for you. you can just click on any one of those. Like let's choose this one, for instance, and reset your playground. And there we go. Here is the basic starter. Cool. So this is the playground, and then to finish, as a reward, I told Mike that I would actually show you a brand new feature that we're working on. We haven't told anyone, so this is an exclusive. Nobody in the community knows about it.
Oh, wow.
But we are actually working on a new category of assets for playground.
Big shout out.
It's still in the making, and it's still very early stage, but I have a picture of you. So I'm just going to drag and drop that picture to Whiteboard to show you what it is. We are working on medieval assets for playground. So soon we're going to have a lot of you're going to be able to have knights and castles and little town village houses like this to decorate your playground. So we're very excited about it. I think it's going to come over the next few weeks, but this is going to be something that your students will probably get excited about. That's it. But don't tell anyone, please. This is going to be a surprise for the community.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Incredible.
That's it. I think one last thing I wanted to give you guys is, before I give it back to you, Mike, is because you're joining this training today, you can redeem a free month of Koala Go, of Koala Pro. So I'm going to maybe paste it in the chat. It's a link. If you click on it, just put your name and information. You can get a free month of Koala Pro, Koala with all the features. You don't have to swipe a credit card or anything. It's just, fill out your information and you'll get it. And later, if you want to upgrade to Koala Pro, you'll get 20% off for a whole year.
Thank you guys. You guys doing awesome.
Thank you so much, Mike. Bye,
Cheers.
everyone.
Bye-bye.